So I'm going to re-grip this putter, put a new grip on it. I've done this many times, hundreds if not thousands, so I'm going to talk you through it step by step, the tools and equipment I'm going to use. It'll only take me probably a few minutes, but just listen closely and I'll show you what you do. Okay, first of all, I need a few tools. So I've got just some regular white spirits in here. I've used an old dishwasher container just for the ease, which you'll see in a minute. So I've got just regular white spirits in there that you'll get from anywhere like Asda or Tesco's. I mean, that's the actual white spirits I'm using. It's just a standard white spirit. I've actually cut this down. This is from obviously a milk container. Again, you'll see why I use this in a minute, just to stop the mess. I've got a regular craft knife or Stanley knife, because I'm actually going to cut off this grip. Now you can buy very expensive tools actually to take the grip off, and if you want to save the grip, which is actually quite good sometimes actually, because these grips can be 20-30 pounds, or dollars. So if you want to keep the grip, you do need a special tool which can cost you upward of 50 or 60 quid sometimes. There is other tools to extract grips, but again, they can be quite expensive, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can make a real hash of it. You can sort of syringe the grip off, but it is quite expensive and a complex process. But this is a simple re-grip, so I'm just going to cut it off, remove the tape, put this new grip on, and then I'm going to line it up, which is the absolute key. So first of all, I don't know if you can see down here, there's actually a counterweight in this Super Stroke grip. It is an original OEM Odyssey grip, but this needs removing first. It doesn't always need removing. Sometimes you can actually just cut the grip off. So I'm just going to use an Allen key and just take off this counterweight. It's only a couple of turns, but it'll come off. Okay, and now next thing is, this is really important, is you do need to take the putter cover off the putter head. Otherwise you'll get it soaked with spirits, etc. So take that one off. And also, if you just look down there, I've got a couple of towels to hand and another towel here, which you probably need as you go through this process. So a couple of spare towels. And this spirit level, I'll show you what I use this for in a minute. But this, it doesn't have to be a spirit level, it can be anything with like a straight surface, which I'll show you how you use that in a sec. Okay, first thing first is to take the old grip off. So very simple, craft knife or Stanley knife. I would use a new blade so it's sharp. Hold the club. You really want to be cutting away from yourself so you don't injure your hand or anything. So you need a couple of cuts with this. Again, a new sharp blade makes this a lot easier. Trust me, that's one of the tricks of the trade. Again, this needs cutting off. Again, you don't want to dig too deep so you're scraping the shaft too much. So you just kind of want to, I don't know if you can see, I'm just kind of prizing it apart at the bottom. These things come off really easy once you get them started. You can see, again, now it's cut, it's just a case of pulling this thing off. Shouldn't be too difficult. It's probably the hardest part of the process, this. And you can see now where I've not quite cut it deep into the shaft, so I just need to keep trimming this down. And again, there's a reason for that. I don't want to cut too deep because I don't really want to scratch the shaft. Again, if you're working with a graphite shaft, you need to be really careful with this. But because this is a steel shaft, it is a bit easier, and you do have to give it a good sort of pull. So if you can see now, I've almost got this grip off. And like I said before, sometimes it is a bit annoying having to cut off a grip, specifically if it's new and they're expensive, these grips. So if you do want to invest in something to save the grip and take it off, you can, but this is by far the fastest way. Again, it does need a bit of force, but there we go, it will come off. Now the next thing is, which is really important, is you have to get rid of all this old tape, and usually you can see it just comes off. It's not usually a tough job, but it can take a while. So again, another tip is always work the blade away from yourself and just try and get it started. Can you see? here, like I'm just scraping to get it started. This is by far the fastest way to take off tape. Sometimes you can have a go and see if you can peel it off in big chunks. This has been a bit stubborn, this one, so here we go. So what I'm going to do now is, it's been stubborn, I'm just going to scrape it all off. Rather than you watch me scrape off all this, well, actually, it's actually not a difficult or long job, so I'll probably keep the video running while you can see what I'm doing. Again, I'm really working this away from myself so I don't injure my body with this blade. But you can see I'm not really digging into the shaft, I'm literally just scraping. Again, you cannot do this with graphite shafts. This is only something you can do with steel shafts. But most putters, which this is, tends to be steel shaft. There's not many putters with graphite shafts, to be honest, at the moment. And we're talking 2020. So you see, I've nearly got this off now. So sometimes you can get lucky, and with your fingers you can just peel off the tape. In this instance, this was really, really strong tape, so it's made a bit of a mess, but it's all come off now. Okay, so now you can see I've taken off all that tape. To be honest, this is the old price tag here, so you know, being a perfectionist, I'll probably end up taking that off too, and I can clean this off in a sec. Again, I'm not digging into the shaft here, I'm literally scraping. I would also make sure you leave the actual manufacturer's sticker on the shaft, because when you come to resell it, often that's a requirement, and that's how you get a bit more money in the resale market. Okay. So now I'm just going to show you a quick trick. I've taken that tape off by scraping, which is this mess. What I'm now going to do is I'm just now going to quickly put a bit of this white spirit on this old towel here. And this really is an old ragged towel. You can see I've just put a couple of squirts on there. And again, this is why I'm using this old Fairy Liquid or dishwasher container. It's just easy to pour. And all I'm going to do now is literally just rub it a few times where I just scraped all that tape off, including the price tag. I'm giving this a bit of elbow grease, to be honest, giving it a bit of a rub. But you can see now I've pretty much removed all that old tape, which is essential. Again, I'm just going to make sure I scrape all the ends of this to make sure it's all off. Give it a really good rub. And now, look at that, almost a complete, pristine shaft ready for the new tape. There's a few niggling bits on there that I can just scrape off. And again, just going to give it one more rub down with the towel. And that essentially is also degreased the shaft, ready for the new tape. Okay, so this is the final part. I'm now going to use, I prefer to use, this is professional grip tape. You can buy it off eBay, usually Amazon sell it too through some other resellers. I buy this from wholesalers. You can get it from eBay, it's super cheap. You're looking at like probably 10 pence per strip. And make sure you use proper grip tape. Don't buy rubbish stuff, because trust me, it's a nightmare. So all we're going to do now is I'm going to just clear out some of the fluff from the top of this shaft, which is just a bit of a mess. And then the real key here is you need to leave about maybe just under half an inch at the, just over half an inch at the top. You see? Just about, maybe just under half an inch, yeah, about half an inch to an inch. And then make sure the tape's on properly. You've taken off one side of the sticky tape. And now I'm just going to flatten the tape out against the shaft. Again, very simple. I might make it look easy because I've done thousands of these. But now it's almost joined and I've got absolutely no creases, which is really, really important. You don't want to have a lump under the grip. And then being very, very careful. I'm just going to peel off the other side of that double-sided grip tape. I've not made it join yet. Again, bit of a trick of the trade. And now I just need to make sure it's smooth, so I'm just folding it gently like this. That's absolutely perfect. See that? There's no creases in that tape at all. And then the top, where it's overhanging by 1 inch or ½ inch, the key there is to stick, twist, and then you've got to tuck it into the bottom of the shaft. That's absolutely perfect now. Okay, now to put the new grip on. So, first of all, what I need is, I need the white spirits in this container. I'm now going to use this old milk carton that I chopped up. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lubricate the inside of this new grip. The key is I have to hold, I don't know if you can see here, there's a little hole at the end of the grip. I have to put my finger over that hole and push tight. Otherwise, when I pour the white spirits in, all it's going to do is run out. So I absolutely have to cover that up with my finger. And I'm just going to fill this grip up now with pretty much full to the top with white spirits. It doesn't really need to be full, but it just makes life easier. See, look, none of it's dripping because of my finger. And then all I'm going to do is like shake it around, make sure it's all lubricated, that grip. Turn the putter grip upside down. This is really key. Again, not quite touching the bottom of this milk container. Just put the grip in, and I'm going to pour this now. Pour it. You can see, pour it all over the white spirits, so it's completely saturated. So what that's now done is it's put lubricant on the grip, inside the grip, and all over that tape. And now, you have to follow me over here, now it should be super easy. I'm just going to slide it onto the grip. There we go. See that? Look at that. Absolutely slid on almost perfectly. Now, this is the really complex part. You only have about, if you can just see what I'm doing here, you only have now literally like about a minute before that tape sets. And this is the most important part, right? I've got to make sure this grip is on absolutely perfectly square to the putter head. This is where the tool comes in. So I'm just literally going to make sure that this tool is flat against the flat edge of the putter grip, and I'm going to make sure it's completely lined up with the putter head and the arrows on the putter head. This is really, really important because when you're actually putting, you need your grip to be absolutely square to the actual target line, which is marked on the putter. That's actually pretty good. Again, like I said at the start of the video a couple of times, I have done hundreds, if not thousands of these, so what I am doing now is just making sure it's perfectly lined up. Again, when I put the grip on, I was pretty much bang on line to start with, but again, that's because I've been doing it many, many times, so I've kind of got a knack for it. So that is actually looking pretty good, and you've noticed what I'm doing here. I'm actually pushing it. I'm pushing this grip on, like I'm literally pushing it on so I can almost feel the shaft at the end. You've got to be very careful here. If you push really hard on this putter grip, you can actually pierce the end of the putter grip with the shaft. So it's just a delicate push. You feel the pressure at the end of the putter grip, but you're not pushing the shaft through it. Now again, I'm being very particular on here because I only have literally about another minute, if that, to make sure this is lined up. And it is looking pretty good actually. And again, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to check it like with a putter stroke. I'm going to hold it in my hands and just check if that feels about square. By square I mean a straight line on the putter grip being in line with the target line of the putter. That does feel pretty good actually. And that's really it. I'm then going to clean the white spirits from the shaft. Again, so it's all nice and pristine. Clean the head. And then what you want to do now is probably just leave it and don't touch it for about an hour, maybe 2 hours, just let it set. And then you could probably just rinse it under the tap, under some hot water, just to take the white spirit grease off the grip and the shaft. And then it's ready to go. Hope you found that one useful. If you did, please like the video.